Where do you find a lot of your music?
So me, it's like, honestly, like I've really become a little open-minded because like I've gone through, I feel like we've all gone through. We're kind of older,
yeah.
We've been through like a couple
like
different.
Era.
We're there when internet started, like Napster and Kazaa, BearShare, and LimeWire were popping. So, I was big on those, don't arrest me, the music industry. But now it's like,
statute of limitations is up. You're good, man.
Yeah. I got nervous because the family that I grew up with, they got raided for using LimeWire. Yeah, I never saw another person, but they were the scapegoat. But now it's like, Spotify, Bandcamp, those are great resources. Bandcamp is really great. It's very organic, One day they'll be sponsoring us and our ventures.
Yo.
But just speaking that out there, Andrew Jarvis, we love what you do. Y'all are dope.
Is that the owner of Bandcamp?
Well, I know Andrew. He does the weekly.
I'd love to end up on there.
It's awesome, and I love that. And now I've kind of like been more open minded of like like the Instagram Reels, and with TikTok, they have some amazing like edits. So I'm always been really good at like researching and finding music, like those rare cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Like you said, we've seen lots of different like trends and generations of music like come and go, and I think when we were a certain age, there was like, remember dubstep was everywhere.
Dubstep,
I think EDM is kind of played to like the younger generations, but one thing that I noticed like that hits on like the TikToks and stuff, which is interesting, is like a lot of Jersey club shit.
Oh yeah, Jersey club. They love
so.
the kids. That's one thing I always know. They will always save them behind in like gigs with kids. Because it's kind of like, man, it's like a really thin line. Because like with our age group, I feel like once you're over like 21, we all kind of listen to the same stuff. But I feel like kind of high school, well, not the same, but it's like you pretty much can vibe.
Future is still relevant, even if you're like...
it don't matter if you're 23 or 20 or 38. Future, hey, he's our misogyny king, and we're going to hold him down.
A toxic
king.
That's my favorite meme format.
Yeah. But like when I would do like, like proms and like high school homecomings, like some of the artists the kids would listen, I'm like, I've never really know who this, I don't know who this is. And that's who they like really listen to. And it's like really specific to their like age range.
Is Jersey club music?
But no, it's never, but all of them love Jersey club music.
Right.
But that's why I'm like, that would be the one consistent factor. Like Jersey club, maybe like on the same tip, like kind of footworking, like Chicago footworking.
Yeah. I think that's so regional though. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Zeke.
I mean, not
Shout out to Zeke the Freak.
Not necessarily like people don't like it elsewhere, but I feel like when you hear like a Footwork song at a Chicago party, it's a whole different like people because like. Because there was like PayPal.
Yeah, DJ PayPal.
DJ PayPal played a gig in Hong Kong when I was living there. I didn't go see him, but I know that it was just motherfuckers just standing there, like thinking it's like thinking the music is cool, but not knowing how to dance to it.
Knowing like the whole
exactly. And then when a Footwork comes on a Chicago party, bro, it's a vibe.
It's
dude. I love that shit.
It's movement. And then like a bunch of people pretending they're gonna Footwork, and then there's always that one person who really can.
Yeah, like people just like joking around.
Like just
they have the intro steps. They have the intro steps.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. And it's kind of crazy because it's like Footwork is such like an international music now, and like, cause even when I was in Germany, I like met like people who had on like Tech Life jackets, and I was like, "What the fuck you know about that shit?"
Don't let me do my SpongeBob, that Footwork. Remember that? Remember when people used to do that shit? You talk about TikTok dances.
Oh my
like,
God.
do you remember like your generation dance? Like, what was that? Like
The Soulja Boy,
the Soulja Boy,
fucking fixing my underwear.
The Dougie,
the Dougie for
the
sure.
The stanky leg.
Ooh, that was a good one,
the
dude.
Stanky leg. That was easy, man. These dances now are like intricate. Like, I can stanky leg my ass off, but it's not too much other things.
Oh man.
No, but actually what I was gonna say is one place where I find a lot of music, and it's not necessarily always music. I'm trying to DJ, but just like I think like film and TV producers have great like sound selection to like or like curation to kind of accompany, you know, whatever emotion they're trying to portray in the show or whatever. And sometimes that shit really, it hits different, you know? Yeah. And then I'll like get out the Shazam and find whatever. So
Shazam, we got some layers on it. So I'm with you on that. Like even in like commercials, and that's why I feel like it's like such a big thing for like independent artists to try to like get in tune with those curators who are like scoring these different things, you know? Because I discovered so many artists. Like I found out about this group called Purity Ring. Through this Target commercial, and I just ever since then I just was like I saw them at Pitchfork, and
then they worked with Danny Brown a bunch.
Yeah, they did work with Danny a couple of times.
So with that being said, what are some TV?
Oh, nice segue! I like that. Nice segue.
Yeah.
What about you, Zeke? Ezekiel, what you been watching besides xvideos.com?
Clicking that Pornhub.
Brazzers.
I don't know. Just kind of doing a little bit all different types of stuff. I like history a lot. So
nerd alert. No,
yeah.
Anorak.
No, like
pure anorak.
Anorak.
Show name history, but history in general, you know. So, oh man, just finished watching Judith.
Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah,
it's about Fred Hampton. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So that was really good. You know, I got into Power. Then, you know, I gotta have some of like Vikings. If you guys haven't seen Vikings, that's just pretty good.
I'm gonna check that out.
I was like, should I do Game of Thrones again?
Are you gonna rewatch it?
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking about it.
I've never even seen it.
You never gotta do it,
man. It's pretty good until it gets to the last season.
Yeah, I used to be a Game of Thrones hater, man. And one day I just walked in on my mom watching it, and then it was just like
kind of interesting.
Such a brutal fight scene. Like this guy's fucking face just got smashed. Damn. It was good emotion and like acting in that shit. But yeah, I never saw the last season, and I was planning on watching it, but I'm like, I never heard a good thing about it.
About the ending?
Yeah, so I'm like gonna stay where I'm at. I'm cool. Season 6 or whatever.
Yeah, it's I rewatched Joker as well.
Oh, nice.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Which one?
The newest one.
Oh, okay. The one like that. We live in a society.
Yeah.
That one was intense.
That was deep. Like that one's like a lot of like. I like that they put in the mental health and you know the lack of support that people have.
Yeah.
When it comes to that, and then how it ties to Joker becoming who he is.
Yeah.
Right.
Through it, like that was. Like the writing for that movie was just great. It tied with the what's happening.
It was a great
during the times.
Yeah.
So definitely check that one out.
Yeah. Do you because you work with a lot of visuals and stuff? Do you kind of pull inspiration from like TV and movies ever? Like to kind of be like, oh shit, like that was cool how they did that. Let me see if I can figure it out on my own, like with the kind of camera setup I have or whatever.
Yeah. There's always those films that just mind blow, like, but their equipments are, thousands of dollars. But
thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands. But no, the ones I really get inspiration is like music videos. Everybody's trying to get unique and try new things.
Yeah. I feel like music videos had a bit of a comeback in more recent years because I feel like like MTV died, and then there was a solid amount of time where like no one, like artists were probably making them, but they weren't.
Yeah,
really,
they were just real low budget. Like, I feel like
now, like
that
YouTube
era of like the early 2000s. Well, not maybe early, like kind of like
late 2000s,
I feel like late 2000s. Like when Chief Keef started popping off, that was probably like the low in terms of like quality of music videos, but just the impactfulness of the song.
That music video is legendary, dude.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I just said that the Chief Keef don't like music videos.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it was just like no production. It was just like a bunch of
that's
homies.
kind of what made it. That was kind of what made it attractive. Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes a lot to like like actual cinema movies, like you get a lot of emotions. So you learn a lot of like different types of angles that'll give you that emotion that you're looking for.
Right.
It's like, yeah, the actor's part of it, but you know, the angle and the like how you portray the light, the sound. You know, you learn a lot from movies, but when it comes to, you know, creativity, music videos, a lot of stage, you know, projections, bit mapping, like just talking about festivals and EDM and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons I enjoyed it. I mean, the music is good. It's a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah, but the experience,
but
like
the experience of
visuals and
graphics,
the,
I've always
Like,
been real big into visuals, man.
that took it to another you know, level of, you know, digital art and you know, motion graphics and projections. So that kind of brings in, and then you have your, you know, your new generation, which is like those you know, B-rolls. Everybody is just nothing but B-rolls, like TikTok and Instagram with their reels. That's all, like, you know, people who get creative with it is just like tying up B-rolls after B-rolls and putting music on top of it.
Have you ever seen have you ever seen a second angle of somebody doing like a one take TikTok?
Oh yeah. I
Where it's like they're like, you actually see that they're like the TikTok itself looks really cool, but then you see them and they're like and they're like lip syncing into the camera and shit too and doing a bunch of weird shit. Have you seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
No. You know,
all right, never mind then.
Actually, I experienced like my first like before COVID, like the whole TikTok boom. It was just like I was like leaving O'Hare at the airport, and it was just like this girl in the middle. Like people were just trying to walk through. She sets her like. She had a tripod and everything, sets her phone in the middle of places, starts dancing. People are just like trying to get through, looking at her. We're like, what's
but
going
that'd be
on?
part of
Like
the funniest part of the TikTok.
Wannabe influencers for like a couple hundred followers.
Hey man, don't shart on these young
I'm a shart
young
on whoever
ruthless
I
people's
want.
dreams. They're just dreamers,
No, it's like,
man.
that's when like TikTok really started. It like kind of took off here in the United States. I was just like, just started seeing kids here and there, and just random spots dancing.
Hell yeah, TikTok, man. TikTok is something else. I see a lot of DJs and like producers really utilizing it now, man. It seems like
streaming.
It's coming real interesting.
Yes, that's like the, you know, like I said, it's just getting super creative with B-rolls like that. You know, streaming. I don't think streaming is going to stop, even if we just go back to, you know, face-to-face interact. Like, you know, you want.
Yeah,
you know
I think media's kind of changed.
Yeah.
Probably, not temporarily. You know, it's probably a little bit of a just shift in sort of how we consume things.
Yeah, like even like what I showed you earlier this week or last week, you know, how we can stream from just here in the studio all the way to like China, Japan, or all around the world.
Through your
you know?
like stream app, the Stream.io thing.
It's like the world is our oyster, you know.
It is. I don't eat oysters.
I
Though.
love oysters, man. People are really weird about oysters, man. I'm really into them.
Have you ever eaten a crocodile?
A croc.
Oh,
No, I've eaten
crikey.
alligator though. I've eaten
Yeah, I've
alligator.
eaten some
Man.
gator.
I've eaten
yeah.
some gator, but not.
Oh, man,
Alligator
dude,
pool
you
boy?
really don't like oysters at all?
No.
When was the last time you tried some?
I don't think I would mind them if they were, because sometimes they do them like deep fried and like
No,
full
yeah,
on
that's-
breaded. I feel like I could do that just because like how are you gonna not like something that's fried?
Yeah.
right?
That's
right.
But like
But you don't
actual
like the
oysters,
raw?
not really. No.
Man, dude, I'm gonna put you on some. We gonna try to go out. That could
Alright.
be like a part of our vlog. We go out for
Josh
oysters.
tries oysters.
Yeah, no, man. Because like I used to not be into oysters, but one time I was in New York, and my dad, he's like, "Man, we're going to this oyster happy hour spot," and I'm like, I was not excited. I was like, "Okay, I'll drink some with you."
Yo, but Josh, like when you were overseas and out there in Hong Kong, did you eat seafood? What was your like experience?
Yeah. I mean,
culinary?
it's like literally an island, so I had a lot of seafood. But I don't think I've discussed this with you guys, but I did. I mean, like a lot of people have asked, like, what are some of the like weird things you've eaten? But not so much. The seafood there's pretty standard, just like fish and like shellfish, like different types of shellfish and stuff. But I mean, I think one of the main things that people like if you go visit somebody out there, they're gonna be like, oh, just to like kind of see your face or your reaction, they'll probably get you chicken feet. That's a popular one.
Feet,
yeah. So I've eaten chicken feet, but I don't think that's that crazy.
Yeah, was it good? Did you like it?
It's all right. It's kind of just like chewy and like there's lots of different bones, so you just kind of like eat a little bit. Like it's not very substantial.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, what are you
it's not,
eating?
It's not a lot of meat. It's not a lot of meat.
Are you supposed to eat the nail and every? I don't know.
Yeah, but I think probably, and I had like lots of really good food too. I think probably the weirdest thing I ever ate was pig brain.
Ooh, that is weird.
That is like,
That's pretty weird. Like it's already kind of controversial to eat pig and pork.
It tasted
general,
like pate. It was like soft and
that's kind of like some elitist like meal, like like
it was mad expensive. Like,
get it?
I had pigeon. I ate pigeon there too.
And how was that?
Pigeon.
Was it taste like chicken?
Tastes like
Kind of, yeah, a little gamier. It's funny because it looked like just like a street pigeon. Like they just like they cooked it in front.
And you
like,
were just like that.
It was just like a full. It was like a the rotisserie chickens at the grocery store. It was like that, but smaller. It was just like a little baby, little pigeon. It wasn't good, but it was all right.
Yeah, I've had some ostrich. That kind of felt weird eating it.
I've had ostrich too. Yeah.
Yeah, ostrich is like the weirdest bird I feel like I've had. I've had like frog and gator. Frog legs are pretty good.
Oh yeah, because I said gator before, and I was trying to make another funny segue because that was the crocodile.
Oh, hey, speaking of, it's your second chance. We still got a chance.
Yeah,
there it is.
So I've had gator, but I've never had crocodile. But we were talking about the crocodile yesterday.
Yeah, man, the legendary.
I brought up a pretty funny story that I think is not really that well known.
Yeah. It's pretty funny, man.
Did you look at the article I sent you?
Yeah, I read.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah, this is
hilarious. So there's a very rowdy, rambunctious sort of like sports bar, but also like club sort of place in a neighborhood here called Wicker Park, and it closed down. It was called the Crocodile. It closed down, and it was like, I don't know. Would you say it was like kind of infamous for like its like reputation? Just
Yeah,
just being rowdy.
It was pretty rowdy spot. It was and like they were. I always like, cause I'm fat, so I like eating. So like, yeah, you get free
slices
pizza
with every.
No, it was like a whole personal pizza.
Oh shit!
Like not even a slice. Like it was like the whole unique.
Damn.
You buy a drink, you get a pizza.
Buy a drink, get a
like
pizza.
Getting drunk and eating pizza all night.
Hell yeah. And
good music too, pretty good music.
Yeah, so they shut down. They lost their liquor license. Probably some fuck shit going on behind the scenes.
Okay.
Who knows? And then they reopened, and then were swiftly closed again. And it turned out that the person that reopened it was actually just some random guy.
Yeah,
that just was there. That just happened to be there.
Playing manager.
He said, "Yeah, this is my bar now." Basically, squatters' rights on a club, and opened it back up. And then it turns out that DJ Skoli DJ'd at the illegal.
Yeah, the illegal and like I always wanted to DJ at Crocodile. Like I would be everywhere around there in Wicker, but I never had the chance to DJ in there. And like I feel like I had just finished a gig probably at SocietyChi or maybe like Chop Shop or something. And my friend Mark was like outside And he, like, randomly, I saw him right in front of Crocodile. I was kind of tired. He was like, man, he's like, we don't got a DJ at this party, man. And I'm like, Crocodile? I'm like, y'all don't got a fucking DJ at Crocodile? I'm
Because
like,
the motherfucker's closed.
yeah. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, weren't they just closed? He's like, no, we don't got a DJ. Like, come through. He's like, the guy said he has $200 for a DJ. And I'm like, I wanted a DJ there. And went in, I met the guy. He's fucking kind of really spazzy.
A little sketchy.
Yeah, he's a little sketchy dude. I'm like, okay, I guess this is the manager. I'm like, who am I to argue with this guy? I'm like, okay.
You're like, you don't seem like
So
the
I
manager.
set up my equipment. It was a lot of people there. It was lit. But it did, now that I think about it seemed a little weird. Actually, man, yeah, I have a picture from that night I posted.
You DJ like a prohibition style.
Yeah, it was crazy. Legendary.
Speakeasy.
Legendary.
Type
and then
shit.
that guy actually broke my equipment. So wherever he's at, he owes me for SX2. He broke my headphone jack.
He probably still owes you for the.
No, he
actually
broke me off. He broke me off.
You did get paid.
He was like throwing money at me.
right?
I was like, dude, you said you give me 200. He's like, I got you. He gave me like 120. I'm like, okay, this isn't it. I'm like, I'm gonna keep DJing because this is lit. I don't want to leave. And then he gave me that. And then I feel like I stayed longer. It was a crazy night.
I'm looking at a picture of him. Like, he looks like a scam artist. He got the fedora.
Yeah.
He would like do everything.
Don't ever trust him.
Got the long hair.
He would like work the bar. He would do a little everything. He was like,
he got his shirt, button-up shirt, like 3 buttons down, chest, like hair coming out.
Looking like Skoli pulling up to Burgine type shit.
Yeah, man,
Type beat.
definitely. Type B, Skoli and Burgine vibes.
Yo, you gotta call your next track that Skoli and Burgine type beat.
Yeah.
Make it like some weird techno shit.
Yeah, I actually made a lot of tracks to get ready for like Berlin, and especially after Burger, I was so inspired after I left, man. It was just like an amazing vibe. It was crazy. Like, they had some of the craziest techno music I ever heard.
Yeah,
slamming.
Like nice
Probably
bass. good ass sound systems too.
Oh man,
because it's like really good clubs.
It was great.
Berghain
awesome.
is like the most legendary club in the world, probably.
Yeah, that's what I always kind of knew about that place that was in like that light building, and I didn't know what it was. And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're probably not gonna get in." We got in that mud. Dang, I must have deleted this.
Oh, you were looking for the video from the thing?
I'm trying to find this joint from that Crocodile night, man. That was so fun. That was crazy.
Put up soon.
Oh, here goes a picture from it. Here it is.
We'll include that.
From Crocodile.
That's that night?
Yeah, dude. Like, you see
Damn.
January 23rd, and I'm seeing it said it was like January 7th.
Yeah, let us see it over here.
Hold on. I got to bring it close?
You gotta stand up, man.
Dang, man, I'm feeling lazy
Not
right now.
share with the people at home,
Here I got y'all, man.
So he's like, oh.
Here's like a little preview of me DJing at the Speakeasy.
Crocodiles. What the fuck just happened?
Where is that? What was that?
Just a frog came out of nowhere. Yeah.
That was good. We can use that as like a
little blooper.
See, this is me. It's Kermit the Frog at Crocodile.
Are probably gonna unfortunately go the same direction as Crocodile. Hopefully they're not taken over by a scam artist for a few days.
Hopefully they are.
But I'm sure it's
so we can
DJ some reckless ass party. No, I'm sure it's a really hard time for some local businesses. So like, have you guys taken it into consideration and like consciously been supporting any like places that you fuck with to make sure that they
wait, hold
make it
up,
out
this wasn't the dude though.
It wasn't
my
the dude?
bad.
No,
I'm
it's
sorry
good,
for I will get in transition. No, it was because I'm like, I know it wasn't this guy. This was like somebody else at the bar. This dude Ian Baker was the one. But this guy Christian, we were talking all this shit about him in his fedora. He was
that was the guy though. That was the scam artist guy.
This isn't the scam artist.
Oh, it's not?
No, the scam artist is Ian Baker. Oh, that's who.
That was his fucking That was his fake name, bro. Because he was like straight up on some like real scumbag shit. Like that was a fake name. Yeah.
Christian DeBoer. Yeah. So he. Oh shit. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, but businesses that were supporting anyway.
Yeah, have you guys like
controversy.
consciously gone out of your way to support any like local businesses that you think might be struggling or anything like that? What's you guys' like kind of like COVID, not charity, but like COVID like support system been like?
So I don't know. I can't speak for no one else, but I've been just supporting as many black businesses as I can.
Hell yeah!
Shout out to Silver Room. That's my go-to anytime I need like a gift or like a little trinket or anything. They got so many different things. Eric is like amazing. He's the owner of Silver Room. I also go to my favorite coffee spot, which is a black-owned Sip and Savor. They're really dope. Lighthouse Grill, that's an amazing place. Mickey's, they all kind of like under the same group. Those are some businesses, restaurants, and little boutiques.
Hyde Park area,
yeah. Yeah, Hyde Parker, man. Shout out to Hyde Park, born and raised.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, those are some dope businesses I've been rocking with. What about you?
If I'm ever in the area, I'll check it out.
Check them out.
I should probably just go to Silver Room to just pull up and just
yeah, man. You should you should definitely get on their selectors Saturdays.
Sure, yeah.
I can put in the word.
Plug
we'll
me.
Make it happen.
Plug me in.
I want
boy.
all the kinky homies.
Let's do it.
To do a set.
Let's
I
do
did
it.
It was a lot of fun.
And then I don't know, Zeke, man, you got any? What are some businesses you've been supporting lately?
I mean, businesses like mostly it's just been
whatever.
restaurants.
Yeah,
we normally at the house we normally do like every Friday we find a local restaurant support and just buy some delicious food. We decided to stop using like Uber E and all
Just
these extra.
call 'em up,
Call them up. See, places.
They tax.
Yeah,
like
they
Grubhub,
tax
yeah.
you like
You and
the customer.
restaurant.
Yeah. So we want to like make sure that the money stays within the neighborhood. So whenever we decide to eat out, we always looking to see who who can we support and not go through these third parties.
What's on the menu for this Friday?
Most likely wings. We might have some wings for this Friday. Yeah.
Where's the wing spot at?
We
shout
do.
them out, man.
We do Papa Ray's.
No,
We
yeah.
probably do some Papa
Oh,
Ray's.
yeah, Papa Ray's always does.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about ordering for Papa Ray's. Maybe we'll hit them up for the next podcast.
The next podcast.
Yeah, Papa
Get some
Ray's.
wings. Wings are not a good podcast food. They're a little too
just too sloppy,
little
man.
Yeah, but I'm down. I'm down to support local businesses.
But yeah, but on my end, I've been just supporting a lot of entrepreneurs and talented individuals, as you see on the couch over there.
The casting couch.
Casting couch. Yeah, it's
So,
uncomfortable.
My goal.
We're casting for the Brothers site. Like, yeah, guys. So what are you willing
it's
to
like
do?
slowly
What
right
are you
here, just, I'm trying to, kind of bring in more equipment, kind of bring some extra cash in through events and stuff like that.
For sure.
To actually go out and to mom and pop shops. Like that's one of my biggest goals is to help out, community businesses and do video content, photography for their products and all types of stuff to help them kind of get back into this like digital world and making some money on e-commerce and stuff like that. So,
For sure.
as soon as like, equipment goes up and we take off with this entertainment, like definitely that's where I'm going to be giving back to the community.
Yeah. And you said fundraising through events.
Yeah.
I did want to say that we are going to be throwing an event here next month, April 24th. It's going to be
Liddy.
breaking news.
Boom, Justin.
No, this is a party that I'll probably go into more detail on in like a social media post or whatever. But it's similar to this podcast. It's something I'm kind of like transferring over from something I was doing in Hong Kong to here. Just kind of like good music, good vibes, good food. Be more information coming soon.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
We should be hitting up some vendors too. bring in
Yeah.
some vendors.
We're talking about getting some tacos, right?
Hey.
Taylor's Tacos.
Yeah, Taylor's Taco. Well, it has
That's
not
a potential.
confirmed
That's a
yet.
potential.
But yeah, potential. Shout out to my homie Taylor.
Speaking of, like supporting
The
local
legend.
restaurants and businesses. Taylor's
Yeah,
Tacos
and
for
black
sure.
businesses too.
Hell
And
yeah.
a woman business.
And a woman.
Woman owned. And a woman. Support all women. Support all people. You know, all good humans out here.
Yeah. So some places I've been going. Also a coffee shop. You know, I don't know who owns it, and I should be more conscious of that. You've reminded me, Skoli. But there's a place on Armitage called Damn Fine Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. That's my like go-to coffee shop in the area. And I've been going to this another place I want to shout out is this place called Chai, and it's like Nepalese, South Asian style dining, super good.
Sounds
the
delicious.
neighborhood I lived in Hong Kong was essentially it was kind of like an immigrant neighborhood, and it was all like South Asian people, and I probably had more like curries and like Indian and Nepalese style food than I had Chinese food. And this is probably one of the closest options to the stuff that I was eating there. And that place is dope. And actually last time I was here, Zeke, that's what I got on the way home. That was the same shit. And then there is actually another coffee shop just west of here called the Sipping Turtle Cafe. Asian owned, and I do think we should be doing our part to support the Asian American community right now,
100%.
because they're kind of going through their own little crisis
Segment.
I shouldn't say little crisis, but they're kind of going through a pretty significant crisis right now. I mean, like the Black American community has dealt with violent racism for a very long time.
But it's all our responsibility, you know, support each other, man. You know, it's like when we've had continuous struggles with like government and police brutality and all different type of things, you know, the same thing with these, with Asian community being targeted. We got to support each other, man. You know, our country is built on all different types of immigrants and people coming over, a lot of different ethnicities and backgrounds. We got to all support each other, man, because, crime against one man is just a crime against us all.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day.
And I feel
injustice.
like, just putting my 2 cents in, like, with this whole, situation, it's like you have to let the people know what truly happened. I kind of dislike the way that
he's a sex addict thing.
So it's like, and does that give him the right to go in and kill 6 women?
Zeke, he had a bad day.
He had a bad day. That's what gets me.
It's crazy that they said
it's
that,
like what where are these people thinking? Where's
the discourse changes.
Yeah.
The discourse does a 180 when it's a white person. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
How do you go from, hey, this is a hate crime, but because he was having a bad day, technically is not a hate crime because what does that mean? I don't understand.
Yeah, don't make
that.
any excuse, just to kind of make it seem normalized.
Is it so like they people don't get mad? Like people are gonna get mad. People are gonna be frustrated that they think just by saying they say less about his situation and what he did would bring some type of like calmness to the issue. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist myself. I feel like it's a lot of underdetermining fact. Oh, I was looking at the writer of that article on the Crocodile. Like, she's kind of cute. So I'm not lying. I'm checking her out. Whatever. No judgment. Okay, back to serious business.
That laptop is there specifically for fact checking and pulling shit up when we can't
the
remember
legitimacy of the author of this article we were discussing.
Google image search.
Whatever, man. Whatever. Get out of my laptop, man. Get your own laptop next time, okay? Yeah. No, but I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist myself, you know. And, you know, I feel like it's a lot of underlying factors, you know. It's like, you know, kind of like it's a power. One of the things is a big power thing, you know. It's like people in power don't want, you know, they kind of shift the blame and have that ability to kind of normalize behavior from, you know, kind of people that, you know, look like themselves, and that it like kind of benefits that hierarchy that some people in our country, I'm not saying everyone is, you know, like has that mindset. Also, you know, like, you know, with the gun laws, you know, I feel like it's always...
He bought that gun the same day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's just like with that industry, it's like, you look at it, it's like such a high pain. Like they're in the pockets of so many different politicians.
They have like straight up lobbyists. Like,
you know,
the NRA is like a lobbyist.
You know, it's all about, you know, capitalism and at its finest, man. And like that's a lot of the principles that this country is built on, unfortunately. And I feel like the people know... You know, people have their own minds, and we can formulate our own opinions, and we, you know, need change from, you know, the top down. You know, people in power have to hold things like this accountable and not try to, you know, minimalize actions like this.
Yeah. Another thing that gets me is like, okay, so just because they work at a salon, like, and they're Asian, like, what
then that means they're sex workers.
Yeah,
right?
like what does that mean?
That was okay. So I'll like hand up. I sort of, not that I misspoke, but when I was like, I was reading about it yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, for sure, like some more like anti-Asian violence, like that's fucked up, and it has to do with COVID and stuff. And then I saw the other news articles saying it was like, well, actually, it wasn't a hate crime because he was a sex addict and he went there to get like happy endings or something. And
they didn't do it.
And then I kind of was like, oh, okay, well maybe it wasn't a hate crime, maybe, and like that was kind of my fault for being like, even if that does seem like a very flimsy excuse, but even if that was the case, the fact that he would assume that these women at these massage parlors are giving like happy endings and stuff is still like a racist based assumption. And it's like, even if that was the case, it's still, I don't think it was. I think he's just like had some fucked up mentality about Asian people, but like even if it was the case that they're saying it was, it's still a hate crime. Yeah, it's like regardless.
It's just like you think about like a lot of, you know, serial killers that you know, it's so crazy because I watch a lot of serial killer documentaries. I'm real interested in psychology and like kind of like the mindset of people who kill like a lot of people and like really disconnect. And a lot of it is, you know, especially think about it like, you know, just like the devaluing of sex workers. And that's like a whole nother issue, you know, like, okay, forget it. Like, okay, they're sex workers. They're human beings, you know.
They are, man.
They're human beings. And it's like the fact that mentality, like, oh, that people think like, okay, it's a sex worker, so their life isn't as valuable. Yeah. You know, that's a part of the problem. That's a part of the reason why this guy thought it was okay, you know. Like it's being justified, and it's horrible, man. Like the racism aspect, the sexism aspect, and the classism as well.
Yeah,
the laws,
like
the laws themselves is like, you know, it can't be classified as a hate crime if the person didn't say a hateful thing. Mm-hmm. So like, what does that mean? Like, so you're saying, you know, like let's flip this around. Let's say, you know. Let's say it's a, you know, a corporate, you know, building with tons of white people and, you know, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Asian person decides to go buy a gun, you know, take a few people out in this building and then head over miles away and take a few other white people out of it. Like, what were you going to call that? You know, like
terrorism.
It's like terrorism.
Yeah, that's what they call
it. You know, it's so. When it comes to the situations like that, I just always wonder, like, what if it was flipped around? You know, it would be a completely different story. You know, it would be top news all around the United States.
Well, it was top news, but the narrative was slightly different. Right. Where it was like,
it's like how to.
It was like, oh, like this guy. You know, he had a sex addiction problem, troubled kid. But like you said, if it was the other situation, it'd be like, oh, this is like a radical extremist, whatever, da da
Right.
da da da. And
Yeah.
like, they definitely were. They were pretty. A lot of the media outlets were pretty generous and pretty easy on the kid, man.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hope he goes to jail forever, but
I mean, yeah, you will, but it's just kind of like the narratives matter,
exactly.
It's like, journalists, they have a responsibility, to the people to,
yeah, like
we're-
Asian American kids, teenagers that are like old enough right now to like fully understand what's going on, but still like impressionable enough to have it affect them. They can see that like, oh, this guy just killed a whole bunch of people that look like me, and the media is saying, oh, he just is like, he's a troubled kid.
Yeah.
He's not a bad person. Just had a bad day. Literally
Right.
had a bad day, and that's important,
Yeah, and that
That
was
narrative.
the same narrative, like you said, the kids, like even when there was the school shootings, like not, it was still recent, to me it's still recent. It's like they always go straight to like, oh, it was a mental health issue.
He's bullied in school.
Right. But let's, and then again, flip that around. It's like all this, like, like these African American, men and women that were like their lives were taken because, by cops just because they're, the cops felt threatened.
yeah, cops or like even like kind of in the Trayvon Martin case, like just like a normal human being,
Or,
vigilant.
was it Ahmaud Arbery that
Yeah.
was also like he was going on a run
Yeah.
and people stopped him?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And
Vigilante-esque,
it just- it-
off-duty cop.
It's just kind of like, yeah, we
those people could have survived if they're just like, maybe they just have a mental issue. No, it's like, what happens to the those people that our lives are taken just because you feel like you're threatened by somebody that doesn't look like you, and then when the whole script is turned around and you're the one doing something, it's like, oh well, I just have mental issues. The kid has mental issues. The white guy has mental issues. Like, what's the difference between them? It's like everybody's human beings. Like if you're gonna give a slap and like just, hey, you have a few, go to jail for 3 months and then you're good to go just because you're doing a service, you're a cop, compared to what you really did and what really makes you. There's so much issues these days that I feel like there's just a double standard in general.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like for us, like us bringing this to light, us talking about it as human beings, as Americans, as people who live here, and just new generation, boomers, like they did their thing. Gen X did their thing. Like millennials, this is our time to do it. Make a difference, and just kind of kick these like old ways of thinking from these boomers who have just kind of destroyed and just want to keep everything in a certain way. I don't know. I think millennials and new generations have a lot to take on.
I 100% agree with that. And I feel like, I've been kind of proud of our generation and generations kind of coming up after us, man. It's just like a whole different level. I'm not saying everybody is perfect because no generation is perfect. No group of human beings is perfect. Nobody, no individual or group. But I see a lot of like the change in these generations in terms of like their mindset and how they view things, how they view people, how they view human beings, and like have a respect, and like I feel like their mindset isn't perfect, it never will be, but at least they're kind of working towards that, of being accepting of people, being understanding and being open and, like just respecting another person's feelings, like not telling another person how they should feel about something. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's a never-ending tunnel, hopefully,
but hopefully that light stays.
Yeah, hopefully that light stays. Yeah, man, we got deep at the end of this, man. Oh shoot! His message. Hey, I want to shout out Alyssa Hauser for the one time.
Who that is?
The shorty who wrote the article. She bad, man.
Doing an article.
I like Alyssa Hauser, man.
Bro, you were full on fucking.
No, don't talk about what I got going on over here, man. I'm just trying to reach out for a write up, I like her writing style.
My man's fucking.
Hey, Alyssa,
Skoli Holmes over here.
If you single, baby, Holmes got fucking space in the home.
So deep, bro. Yeah, he has her whole life story.
No, this is just this is
school
generic
photos.
Twitter, bro. This is not like, come on. I did Google her.
Got the bio and everything.
Hey, I just like doing my due diligence. She wrote
That's
a
what's
good
up.
article.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But with
She
those
was kinda
segments,
cute,
again, any sponsors out there?
Yeah, man. We said we want to support local business, so yeah, shoot us a message. We can shout you out on pod. And then
What is it? What is this new segment? What we got here?
that was okay. So if we're talking about race and stuff, there was a tweet I saw the other day. I don't even know if we want to get into this.
Yeah, we can talk
I just
about
thought
it.
I just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to hear your perspective. And Zeke, I mean, maybe if there's I guess it kind of delves into like cultural appropriation in general.
Yeah.
But I saw a tweet that had like 1 million replies to it, and it was saying that man, I should have screenshotted it. I should have saved it just so I could pull it up for this. But it was like, oh yeah,
We're saying that white people shouldn't be allowed to watch the Boondocks.
it was saying white people cannot watch Boondocks. And at first I was like, what? I didn't feel too like, oh man, like they're not allowed us to watch. I didn't get defense mode or anything. But I have watched the Boondocks. It's not like my favorite show or anything. But I always thought it was kind of fun and interesting or whatever. But when I was reading more into like more of the responses, I was realizing it's like it's sort of a critique on Black culture that like if a white person finds it funny, they might be like sort of like some subconscious racism thing going on.
like kind of like,
Whereas,
why you laughing so hard, bro?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I get
Whereas
it.
like opposed to like if a black person's laughing at it, it's like they're kind of like allowed to because they can like critique their own culture or whatever, but it like is.
So I'm gonna tell you how I feel
please.
about comedy in general. Like I'm big on comedy, and I feel like like I said, like I feel like this generation has made so many steps and so progressive. One of the things that my critiques is like I'm a big fan of comedy. I love stand-up comedy.
You think you're real funny too.
I think people be laughing, but I like comedy. I watch comedy and like a lot of comedians I like watching. Like if they came out in this day and age, it wouldn't work. Like I love Patrice
Even
O'Neal.
Chappelle.
Yeah, Chappelle now still he gets killed, because he's like crosses the boundaries of like what's comfortable for a lot of people. And I'm like, I love that aspect, the raw aspect. I felt comedy and music are some of the very few art forms, and like art in general, but some of the few art forms where people can really like delve into like
social commentary.
Yeah, social commentary and things that we might be a little uncomfortable or might not be PC for the fact of making art and making people, I kind of feel like, a lot of things like, okay, so Meek Mill, I know this is off topic, got slandered for this Kobe Bryant reference.
Right.
He said if he goes out with the chopper, he's going like Kobe. And I thought the line was whack. I thought it was kind of ass. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, but he's trying to make art, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, it was but do y'all need to harass him to where he has to apologize to people?
I mean, there is a point where like too soon is just too soon.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And then like the baby got slandered for that JoJo Siwa line.
Oh God!
And
that wasn't even like a clever bar.
Yeah, it
everything.
But it's like, come on, it's the baby. What is he like? I mean, I like his flow. You know, he sounds cool.
Yeah,
but
DaBaby.
okay, my point about comedy is like, I feel like, you know, with comedy, it's like, yeah, it is kind of subjective, but it's one of them things that does. I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it's like gray area, but I feel like it does a lot of good. You know, just comedy, be able to laugh at certain things. It helps me out a lot, you know, with just being able to deal with the harsh realities of life. And, you know, like whether it's you know, sometimes I do look at like a white person, I'm like, yeah, you laughing too hard about like the project. But I'm just not that type of person to be like, oh, you know, you can't, excuse me, you shouldn't be able to watch this, or, you know, hey, if you're enjoying it, you enjoy it, but kind of like do your due diligence, you know,
really dissect why you think that's funny.
Yeah, break it down. Like, oh, I did laugh kind of hard. Like, don't like it doesn't have to be uncomfortable, but just kind of think about like, damn, like, okay, what's up with the projects? Like, what is the projects? Like, what is systematic? Like, if you're really delving in that, that's a whole nother thing. It's on a case-to-case basis for me.
I mean, for me, on this, like, this topic in general, it's like, it kind of ties into, you know, scam artists in this generation, like trolls. I feel like this whole perspective of, like, cancel culture that a lot of people are trying to push. And again, I feel like that is just a push. That's just a trend.
Yeah, it's like the rights. It's like the conservatives' idea of cancel culture that actually doesn't really exist.
Yeah, it's like, Boondocks has been around forever. Anybody, it's on air. Anybody can watch it. Anybody can enjoy it. Like, just, you know, you get these people trolling and just putting stuff out there just to get some hype. To try to get people mad.
It was definitely
arguing.
like a reactionary. It was definitely somebody trying to provoke people, and maybe they don't exactly think that, but then I think that
it's very like that's their whole. They want to get the. I feel like I see so many, and that's a reason I do love Twitter a lot. And people take Twitter very seriously, but Twitter is a very reactionary. It's like, what can I say that's controversial enough? Like that I kind of might, but like I kind of might feel, but
people get paid to do that though. Like people are out there getting paid just to do random shit like this to provoke people. Like, this is the whole new generation of propaganda. Like, you get those random ass people getting paid to just say random things that'll get you upset and get you, you know, rallying behind something, you know.
Yeah, since Sherlock Holmes put away his MacBook, you should Google Wu Mao.
Wu Mao.
It's Chinese for like 50-cent army, and it's basically, the idea was that the Chinese like propaganda machine would pay people 50 cents per post to be like pro China, and anti-Western.
50-cent party.
Yeah. That's a real thing, and it's like a real form of propaganda. I don't know if it's necessarily as prevalent in like Western culture, but it's definitely a big thing over there on that side of the world. Wait, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, but later on in that, I was just reading that thread because I found it interesting, and then somebody was like, "What?" Like, so one thing I think a lot of white people in the concept of like discussion about race, they lack like a lot of self-awareness and like nuance, and like instead of taking criticism sincerely, they get defensive and like, well, I'm not racist, you know, like that sort of reaction.
I have my best friend is black.
Is a black.
Is a black.
That's another.
My best friend is a black.
Is a black. No, and then somebody was like, "What are you gonna say next? Like, we can't listen to rap music." And then I think the person,
hell yeah,
the person who tweeted it was like, "Actually, I do think that," and I did like the Homer Simpson like backing into the bush. I was just like, "Oh, I'm not here."
You put that,
No, I didn't post that. I like actually did that in real life.
Oh,
like as a DJ who plays like a lot of hip hop music.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're controversial, man. You know, you play like a lot of Afro Latino. Like, you be able to cut like
it's good music.
It's great. That's why I'm like, I could.
Latin house.
We all cultural appropriate to a certain extent. Like, I thought it was hilarious when Kenyon Martin was making fun of Jeremy Lin for having cornrows, and then because he's infamous for having Chinese tattoos.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, your Chinese tattoos are really.
That was Kenyon Martin.
Yeah, Kenyon Martin.
I remember that.
He was shading. He said they would have whooped Jeremy Lin for having cornrows.
He's like, he forgot his last name was Lin.
Yeah, man. That was funny. I thought that was a funny kind of like get back. Like, yeah, we all kind of be cultural appropriating, dog.
No, and like going back to like self-awareness, it's like I realize the role I play, and if somebody like from, you know, the Caribbean or somebody from Brazil was like, yo, like I don't feel comfortable with you playing like so much ballet funk or whatever, I would genuinely like consider that.
No, and that's a huge thing is like being able like to accept that criticism, that opinion, and like kind of like not just like brushing it off, being like. Cause like, you know, think about it, like it's like so many like artists who aren't from those places, like who like kind of make bank sampling and remixes
and that, I mean, you bring up a good point. It's like, you know, there's a certain point where like what you enjoy makes you. It's like if you enjoy that type of music and you want other people to enjoy it with you and you're a DJ, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if you're, you know, if you're not giving back to that culture, if you're not, you know, going out of your way to, you know, provide, help them in a certain way, be, you know, proactive with it,
and like genuinely understand like the history of it, and to not butcher it, right?
But yeah, and then I get that, yeah. And then I get that, like, you know, if you're out there just to make a quick buck out of it or just to
exploit it,
yeah.
Then, you know, there's a completely different, you know.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's real important, man, because it was like, you know, just kind of like just understanding, like, you know, being a producer and a DJ, man, is like a lot more powerful. I think these dudes. Let them know.
We got people in the.
Somebody's having
an argument
special
outside. Guests.
No, what we're saying, being a DJ and a producer.
Man, it's a powerful thing, man, because it's
comes
like
with the responsibility too, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility, man, and it's like kind of like doing as much research as you can and just being as understanding and like, you know, just getting it, man. You just got to get it. You got to get it. I like, you know, like kind of what Zeke said, like just kind of understanding, figuring a way to give back, like whether it's like you using a sample and you kind of collab with the people. You know, one thing, like I was sampling like some record with this guy, went and sampled all these like African tribes, but he just recorded them playing. And, you know, I don't really know what the deal was with it in terms of like them like donating or paying for the clearance. And it was just real interesting to me. And I was using it, and then I looked into it and did see, you know, they had donated certain things.
It was,
and it was
fair,
like,
fair use.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know, stuff like I love like giving back to whoever, you know.
I did on the album or the project I did sample a tribe from Uganda. And I didn't get their permission, and this is totally like I have a black friend take, but no, I have a homie out in Uganda, and I sent him the track beforehand, and he gave me the green light. So, but he thought it was real cool, and it was kind of like a folklore sort of song. Like it's a song that everybody sings there.
Yeah.
So it was also kind of like fair use, sort of like public domain type sample as well.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
let me go check up on this. I know we gotta like. I want you to be able to wrap it up appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you guys got any last words on this week's episode?
Man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. You know, it's SocietyChi. Shout out my boy Fireox, my boy Zeke the Freak. I'm DJ Skoli. But yeah, we're gonna keep it going. We're working on taking it to the next level and